Pegasus is a constellation in the northern hemisphere. It is the 7th largest constellation in the sky. It was named after the mythological winged horse and introduced by the Greek astronomer Ptolemy in the 2nd century. The constellation Pegasus occupies an area of 1,121 square degrees and contains 8 stars with known planets. It can be seen at latitudes between 90 degrees and -60 degrees and is best visible at 9 p.m. during the month of October. Pegasus, the winged horse, appears in the south in the autumn for the northern latitudes. Its main geometrical figure is the Great Square of Pegasus. Greek mythology. In Greek mythology, Pegasus leapt from the body of the Gorgon Medusa, the monster whose gaze turned people into stone, when Perseus decapitated her. It was tamed by the hero Bellerophon, son of the Corinthian king Glaucus, and grandson of Sisyphus. In Hindu mythology, white horses appear many times in rituals and sacrifices. The Vedic horse sacrifice is a fertility and kingship ritual involving the sacrifice of a sacred gray or white stallion that some believe to resemble Pegasus. In the ancient Hindu text Puranas, one of the precious objects that emerged while the Hindu gods and demons were churning the Milky Ocean was a snow-white horse with 7 heads. Epsilon Pegasi is the brightest star in Pegasus. It has a visual magnitude of 2.39 and is approximately 690 light-years away from the Sun. Its traditional name, Enif, comes from the Arabic word for the nose. The star marks Pegasus's muzzle. Enif belongs to the spectral class K2. This means that it is an orange supergiant. It is 12 times more massive than the Sun, about 5,000 times more luminous, and has a radius that is 185 times that of our Sun's. The star is also notable for having a relatively high true velocity of 21.6 kilometers per second. Beta Pegasi is the 2nd brightest star in the constellation. It has the stellar classification M2, which means that it is a red star halfway between the subgiant and giant stage. It is about 1,500 times more luminous than the Sun. The traditional name, Shiat, comes from the Arabic language meaning the upper arm. Beta Pegasi has an apparent magnitude of 2.42 and is about 196 light-years in distance. It is classified as a semi-regular variable star with a period of 43.3 days. The star is losing mass, and as a result, it has a shell of gas and dust that is expanding with a radius of about 3,500 times that of the Sun. Alpha Pegasi is a giant star belonging to the spectral class B9. It has an apparent visual magnitude of 2.48 and is approximately 133 light-years in distance. It is only the 3rd brightest star in the constellation of Pegasus. It has a radius almost 5 times that of the Sun, and the star's traditional name, Markab, comes from the Arabic words meaning the saddle of the horse. Algenib is a subgiant star of the spectral type B2. It has a visual magnitude of 2.84 and is approximately 390 light-years away. It marks the lower left-hand corner of the Great Square of Pegasus. Gamma Pegasi is classified as a beta Psi variable, which means that its variations in brightness can be attributed to pulsations of the star's surface. It has a radical pulsation period of 0.15 days, during which its brightness varies from 2.78 to 2.89. Algenib is almost 9 times as massive as the Sun and has about 5 times the solar radius. It is 5,840 times more luminous than the Sun. Eta Pegasi is a double star approximately 167 light-years distant from the solar system. It has a visual magnitude of 2.95 and is the fifth brightest star in the constellation. It is composed of two stars that orbit each other with a period of 813 days. The brighter component in the system is a bright giant of the spectral type G2, 4 times more massive and 247 times more luminous than the Sun. Pegasus is home to a couple of interesting deep sky objects. Messier 15 is a globular star cluster that can be spotted near Epsilon Pegasi. The cluster was discovered by the Italian-born astronomer Jean-Dominique Marialdi in 1746 and included in Charles Messier's catalogue in 1764. The cluster contains a relatively high number of variable stars, at least 8 pulsars, and a rare planetary nebula discovered within a globular cluster named PS1. The age of the cluster is estimated to be around 13.2 billion years, making it one of the oldest globular clusters ever discovered. Along with being quite popular with Greek culture, Pegasus has been featured in many different logos and pop culture references here in America. Nike, for example, has an entire shoe line called Air Pegasus. TriStar Pictures also uses Pegasus as the introductory for their company in movies. Pegasus is also featured in the animated Disney movie Hercules as Hercules' winged companion.
You probably don't remember Pegasus, but you two go way back, son.
Pegasus!
He's a magnificent horse with the brain of a bird.
The constellation of Pegasus is a very fascinating part of the sky. It has history dating back to Greek and Hindu mythology. Although you can see references of Pegasus featured on logos and movies, it will always be most magical to experience the white-winged horse by looking up into the night sky.